live stream, so you'll be able to claim your Hive-born crawler pet by following the instructions below. Without further ado, let's roll the trailer for Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame.
We, the Keepers of the Flame, serve the will of the Dreamer. His instructions whispered from beyond the wall of sleep. But now, the Hiveborn are here, on Rayclast, and they seek to poison our world. We must close their breaches, destroy their hives, slay their breach lords.
Nothing gets me so hyped. Can't believe I was late for this.
And by his gifts, the Dreamer
Oh my god, what is
provides.
this? A breach tree?
They brought this war to our world, but we shall
Oh my
end
god,
it.
what if they brought in
Whatever
PoE2,
it takes.
endgame Atlas tree into like PoE1? Genesis tree? Oh my god, last epoch? Did they bring in last epoch stuff? I'm hyped. Yep, new trade system. Alright. Let's go, let's go.
Now, as you can see, this expansion is a true sequel to the Breach League, first introduced to the game in 2016. We felt like it was time to progress the story of Breach, bringing with it a slew of new updates to the base game. In today's stream, we'll take you on a deep dive into Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame, beginning with the League mechanic, covering all the fearsome challenges it presents,
What?
and the new twisted ways you'll be able to empower your character.
I like this
After
new
that, we'll dive
layout.
into the new Ascendancy options possible with Bloodline classes. Then we'll cover the much anticipated and synchronous trade system coming to Path of Exile 1. Afterwards, move into the new Uber Pinnacle
They have
bosses,
to, right?
how to access them, and some new drops worthy of the added difficulty. Finally, we'll cover some notable quality of life improvements, before moving on to our supporter packs and challenge rewards.
Oh, dude, I'm
We'll
so
then have a
hyped.
live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile's game directors Mark and myself your questions from Twitch chat. And after the live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes at 11 AM New Zealand time or 3 PM Pacific. So let's get started. I'll hand things over to Mark to introduce the new league.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. Breach is a beloved league that has had an iconic history in PoE.
Okay.
We intend to honour that legacy with our first ever sequel league, Keepers of the Flame. This develops every aspect of Breach, adding new layers to discover, richer lore, scarier bosses, and entirely new mechanics. That said, this is still Breach, so you will still be opening breaches and slaying hordes of otherworldly monsters. The Breach Lords have found the means to stabilize the connection between their realm and Rayclast. Now, with their grip tightening, we learn their true goal in our world, conquest. The threat they pose has now escalated to home soil. On the coast in Act 1, you'll encounter Aelith, the founder of the Keepers of the Flame. This is a monastic order sworn to defend Rayclast from the Breach Lords. The exit to the Mudflats has been barricaded by Hiveborn, breach monsters that are working to claim every inch of Rayclast. Aelith can grant you a small spark of the power of the Flame, allowing you to blast away their barricade and move onwards.
Okay.
Once you enter the Mudflats, you'll find it infested with breach monsters. They appear to be constructing a kind of hive, creating strange shapes and structures that absolutely don't belong. Time to purge them with fire. Aelith needs you to protect her as she empowers the flame to do so. Hold off the assault long enough, and she'll be able to demolish the hive with cleansing flame.
I mean, I don't know what it is.
In other
but the
areas,
graphics
the
look
gap
really
between
good
worlds
right
is
now.
strained.
I don't know if they did another
Here,
overhaul.
you'll find a more familiar encounter with a new twist.
This one
A
kind of looks
massive
like
breach
PoE
hand
1
sunders the
graphics again.
space between dimensions.
Just the
And
environment.
touching it will open an unstable breach, causing monsters to flood in. If you can slaughter them quickly enough, you can stabilize the breach.
Stabilize, okay.
This brazen action can draw the attention of Vroon, Marshal of Zesht, who will do everything it can
Marshal
to
of
stop you.
Zesht. Okay, we know Zesht.
Defeating this boss will permanently seal the breach,
I mean,
severing
is in
another
PoE
connection
too.
between the Breachlord's world and Rayclast. These stabilized breaches are similar to what a breach once was, but with upgraded monsters, a success condition to shoot for, UI tracking to keep the player informed of their progress through the encounter, and satisfying feedback when you do manage to complete the encounter. We've taken all the lessons we've learned since the release of Breach 9 years ago and improved upon it in every way we can.
Okay.
However, much of the joy of Breach came from its simplicity. While we want to modernize the mechanic, we don't want to undermine the core experience. You're still mostly just slaughtering hordes of enemies in a circle. Finally,
good to me.
in in-game
Sounds good
areas
to
you
me.
might run into breach constructions that have been left unopposed for too long and have grown into their full twisted glory. Breach hives.
Oh, fortress.
Towering flesh-crafted cities in the sky. These are the
This looks
visions of the
interesting.
Breachlords made real
This is
in
PoE
Rayclast, teeming with breach monsters.
Okay. Like
You
the
must
textures
raid
and layout.
and destroy these cities with the help of Aleph and her flame. In some of these hives, you may even encounter some of the Breachlords themselves, who will not be happy you're intruding on their planned conquest. Now, let's talk loot.
Yeah, let's talk about
Of course,
loot.
being an exile is hard work, and you're unlikely to help entirely out of the goodness of your heart. Fortunately, Aleph has power and rewards aplenty,
Random
born of the
notification.
Breach Realm itself, to offer you for your assistance. Help her, and she'll bring you to the Monastery of the Keepers, the hallowed halls of her order. Here, you'll find the Genesis Tree, the growing heart of the Keeper's power. On interacting with it, you'll find that this tree has a tree. That's right.
Of course.
It couldn't be Path of Exile unless the tree also had a tree.
This looks like
More
last
importantly,
epoch.
the Genesis tree is an engine of unholy creation, and a profitable one. As you complete breach encounters and work more with Aleph, you'll be able to grow the Genesis tree larger and larger, sprouting additional limbs. Each of these limbs,
Okay.
you'll notice, has their own inventories.
Yes, it
These can be
does.
used for an unusual method of crafting new items.
Okay, it's for
With this
crafting.
system, you'll be able to grow currency, uniques, equipment, and a new kind of otherworldly item.
Yeah, this is
Grafts.
from. Okay, yeah,
Grafts
let
are
me hear.
breach hands grown directly from the Genesis tree, born of the same flesh and sinew as the invading monsters. These fuse directly to your body, in a completely safe process. Don't worry about it. With grafts, you can harness the power of the breach. Some provide passive benefits like this, or this, but they can also grant a wide selection of powerful skills.
Okay.
These graft skills can
looks
provide a
strong.
flexible way to fill gaps in your build, offering everything from damage to potent defensive buffs and crowd control.
This is really
For example,
cool.
the battering all graft will call massive arms to erupt from the earth,
What is
stunning
this
all those they hit.
damage? 102,000?
For some additional pack clearing power, you could consider the Squalling Tool Graft. When commanded, this graft will cast Dance in the White, creating a deadly ice tornado which aggressively seeks enemies and fires off bursts of ricocheting projectiles when you critically strike with skills.
Okay.
For some further utility and a useful buff, try out the Storming Ash Graft. This can be commanded to call down a ring of bolts from the sky that will leave behind the
This is
new
all just
Radiant Ground.
insane.
Radiant Ground grants a potent damage buff to allies standing within it and makes their hit damage lucky.
Lucky damage.
If you're simply after raw damage, look no further than the Erupting Zothgraft, which causes massive eruptions of fire where you command, which then re-erupt when you
no
walk right.
way, bro. So
There are a total of 16
Wow.
different graft types you can grow,
There's so much I want to say,
each with their
but
own
there's-
skill.
We're just getting
You can
information
even
over
unlock
the-
a second graft slot as you progress through Aelith's quest line.
Of course.
So feel free to mix and match Flesh Zone horrors to your heart's content.
This is cool. I like this.
Now,
This is cool.
grafts aren't just here to make you stronger. They are also your means of feeding the Genesis tree, which needs constant supplies of graft blood to grow anything useful. You can do this by defeating breach monsters, which will leave behind blood that your graft will automatically collect. When you feed this blood to the tree,
Might have to
your
think about
allocated
ice
passives
spear
will be put to
splitting.
work. This section of the Genesis tree can be used to grow new grafts for you, which the Genesis tree will then birth in a gruesome display.
Interesting.
Basic passives on the tree might increase item rarity of birthed grafts, or the chance to birth additional grafts.
2,500% rarity.
These passives can target specific types of grafts, and this passive causes grafts to be birthed with a random amount of quality. Quality improves the amount of blood that can be stored by your grafts. This section of the Genesis tree births currency items. Basic passives can result in more or better currency. Allocate
This
this
is hype.
passive to sometimes
This
cause a
looks
shower
lot
of
like
currency
the
to
Echo
burst
Web
forth from
tree
the flesh of the tree.
Last epoch.
Yeah, it's a bit gross, but working with the organic matter
And
of a
I'm
bunch
kind
of
of all
dead
for it,
otherworldly
actually,
creatures was never going to be a clean affair.
If you take all the good
Grafts
stuff,
themselves are
I'm fine
born of a
with it.
different world, so are unmodifiable by most currencies. However, with this passive, the Genesis tree can occasionally grow
I'm seeing
fleshy
things.
mockeries of currency orbs. These function like augmentation orbs, regal orbs, or exalted orbs, but they work on your grafts instead of normal gear. Yep,
Interesting.
it's graft crafting.
Graft crafting. Okay.
Allocating this passive can result in foul-born currencies. This foul-born exalted orb, for instance, behaves as a normal exalted orb, except it guarantees a higher tier modifier. By locking out a large portion of the lower rolls, a
Wait.
normal exalted orb would be able to hit. The largest section of the Genesis tree is used to grow rare equipment items. For these, you have a lot of agency to influence the type and modifiers on your grown item. For example, you can specifically target boots with a dexterity requirement, with an increased chance for speed modifiers, and reduced chance for cold modifiers.
Interesting.
Or maybe you'd prefer to look for a two-handed axe with increased chance for physical modifiers.
Okay.
This section of the tree is for growing unique items.
could be
Similar to
really
the
good for us
equipment
to have.
section, there are passives that let you target growing specific types of uniques or rarer uniques.
Okay, but what
The
can
process
you do?
of growth is not always a perfect one, however, and can
Yes.
result in some defects.
Yes, tell me you could have modifiers.
This passive can result in birth uniques becoming foulborn, which mutates one of the existing modifiers
Yes.
on the item into a new
Yes.
one, resulting
is
in
what I
some
like to hear.
interesting new ways to use that unique.
Oh
For
my
example,
god.
This
yes.
foulborn quill rain no longer has increased projectile speed, but
Dude, this is
instead has
perfect.
increased area of effect. Another foulborn quill rain could replace the mana gained on hit with the much more powerful modifier
They really
where
looked at
insufficient
last
mana
epoch
doesn't prevent
and were
your bow
like,
attacks.
How do we finally bring
Here
this
are some
to our
other
game?
examples. This passive even gives a rare chance for foulborn uniques to have multiple different modifiers
This
mutated.
is so insane, by the
I'm
way.
sure you'll come up with some extremely powerful uses for these. We'll leave it up to you to discover what this mysterious part of the Genesis tree can grow. So, ultimately, you'll be slaying masses of breach monsters, harvesting blood with the aid of your grafts, feeding that to the Genesis tree, growing some items and better grafts, and back again to the slaughter. As with all our challenge leagues, this league will come with a set of 40 challenges to pursue, and completing them
what
will
it looks
award you
like.
with the Keeper of the Flame armor set, allowing you to truly embrace becoming a monk and worshipping the Dreamer.
This looks okay. Looks okay.
Now, graft skills won't be the only new tools to play with. In 327,
Yeah, show me
we're
some new
also adding a
skills.
collection of new skill and support gems. Let's go over them now. Kinetic Rain is a new wand attack, which covers the ground in unstable kinetic energy. These hazards collapse at the slightest touch, releasing their energies into any unfortunate soul who happens to be standing on them. With enough
Okay.
projectiles and area of effect, an enterprising exile could carpet the world in dangerous kinetic force. Wall of Force creates a barrier of kinetic power, causing allied projectiles to ricochet towards targets automatically. Drop one behind a boss and redirect the bolts of your armies. I'm sure you'll find ways to break this one. Conflagration
I
is a
need to go
new
back to
bow
that
attack
one.
which rains down fiery bolts from above that stick into the ground and pulse as you approach. Once you get close enough, these bolts detonate, causing ravaging ignites. These bolts chain react, allowing you to create fields of incendiary destruction.
This looks
Thunderstorm
really
is a
cool.
bow attack, which creates a whirling storm of wind and lightning
What
where
is
it lands.
happening?
While you're within
This
the
is-
storm,
Okay,
it will
this is again
rapidly
like
grow
PoE
until it
2?
becomes violently thunderous with lightning-infused
The
clouds.
tornado skill, they're like
At this point,
sort of adding
leaving
it
the
to
storm will
PoE
cause
1.
it to detonate, dealing damage to everything within and releasing
This
a
is
flurry of
Snoobay's
tornadoes
build.
in all directions. Attacking with kinetic fusillade will create hovering orbs of energy. These linger for a few moments above you before zipping off to nearby targets, chaining between them, then detonating.
interesting.
Living lightning support will bring to life living sparks of energy, elemental minions that zap through packs of enemies with speed and ease.
I feel like this
Use
was in
these
PoE
alongside
2
your
as well.
spellcasting to augment your pack clearing abilities, or find whatever means possible to cover the world in living sparks of ruin.
This is cool.
Wind Burst support unleashes chaotic tornadoes as you attack, which ricochet around wildly and quickly. These deal moderate damage as they travel,
You
but
said
will
attack.
explode into a highly damaging burst when they expire. So it's a choice between scaling their duration up to get better coverage, or down to access the burst more quickly.
Interesting.
Kinetic Instability is a support gem to go along with the new wand attacks that causes enemies slain to leave behind those same orbs of shimmering energy that Kinetic Rain creates. One might ponder just how many orbs you can create if you were to use both.
This seems like it's gonna ruin your GPU.
In 327, exiles will be able to absorb the power of some of the bosses they defeat. These take the form of new Ascendancy class options, called
Okay.
Bloodlines.
Bloodline.
Bloodline classes are a new means of character customization in the endgame. They
I'm
are
excited.
secondary Ascendancy classes that are unlocked by defeating specific endgame bosses.
I'm excited.
They are allocated with your normal Ascendancy points, and you'll have to choose how many of your points go into the original Ascendancy and how many into your Bloodline class.
I'm excited.
This means there is a nigh limitless ability to mix and match here, as you could choose to invest just a couple points into your Bloodline, or max it out. And you could take
Or-
any Bloodline with any base Ascendancy class that you see fit. To unlock your Bloodline,
I need to
hunt
know
down
more.
the endgame boss whose power you desire, and defeat them. Or have a friend help, and claim the power for your own.
Okay, give me a sneak
There are
peek.
10 Bloodline classes to discover. Bosses who offer this power are typically associated with past leagues, giving additional
Okay.
reasons to engage with that league content.
Hey, this is 18.
Let's run
plus.
over a
Cover
few
your eyes.
examples. The
T17?
Chaos
Is
Bloodline
this
will
from
be offered
T10?
to you by the Trial Master, if you manage to succeed his final challenge. With his blessing, you can greatly augment your Val skills in different ways.
Trial Master, okay. Vol
Priest
skills.
of Yalmak lets you use Val skills much more often, while Priest of Kopek makes it harder to build up Val skills, but makes them far more powerful.
Okay, this.
Or take Corruption's Embrace, which grants more Val Keystone powers the more corrupted items you have equipped.
There's just so
The
much.
Ashabi bloodline can be gained by, you guessed it, defeating Ashabi. Her abilities are drawn from the 3 types of life force that manifest within
This
as
could be
Marian
interesting for a
spirits.
build. I think like
The
projectiles.
Wild
maybe?
Bear rewards you with adrenaline
rage.
for generating rage.
Okay, could be
The
good on
Vivid
tech builds.
Cat gives your elusive buffs a chance to refresh, as well as making you more stealthy while elusive. The Primal Owl allows your unleashed spells to reoccur many additional times, and get stronger for each time they reoccur.
That's pretty insane.
The Nameless bloodline
That's pretty
comes from the
insane.
King in the Mists. Be forewarned, his menacing power comes at a great cost.
Uh-oh.
With the Unseen Hand,
Of
you can
course,
equip
Ritualist.
a 3rd ring.
Oh my god,
But you'll have to
Ritualist
decide
from
if that
PoE
comes at the
2.
expense of having no amulet, no belt, or no flasks.
All you
Unlight
oh,
Silhouette adds a hefty life cost to all your spells. but they deal additional chaos damage based on the amount of life spent. Of course, there is more to come. What powers might you glean from delving deep underneath Rayclass to fight all the Crystal King?
I don't know how to feel
What secrets can you learn from Lycia, Herald of the Scourge,
Could
waiting
we
at the
use
end of the
that?
Forbidden
Could we
Sanctum?
Use that somehow? No, dude.
As you can
amulet
imagine,
slot?
there
No
are
way
countless
I would give
possible
up an-
combinations with the system. You could be a Slayer that embraces corruption and vile power,
Oh,
or
that's
perhaps
so
you'll play an
insane.
occultist that doubles down on their dark power by integrating the Nameless bloodline.
Which
We're
one did he
excited to see
disable?
what
I
crazy
didn't see what
and
the middle
interesting
one
builds
was.
players come
It was
up with.
belt and amulet. It was something else.
In the most recent Path of
Oh,
Exile 2
Flask.
expansion, the Third Edict,
Flask
we
is so
introduced
good
a
too.
much anticipated feature, fully asynchronous trade.
There we go.
It was a fantastic success.
Yes, of course.
So now we're excited to announce that we'll also be adding this feature into Path of Exile 1.
Of course.
When you reach Act 6, you'll be able to find Faustus in Lion Eye's
This
Watch.
is such a good change. It's gonna
Previously,
change
he
the meta
just
a lot.
operated the currency exchange. Now, he will also act as a steward for your merchants tabs.
Yep, we got a little.
These
sneak
are where
peek
you
of
can
this.
place items for sale, for direct and instant purchase by other players, even when you're not online.
So good,
To list
man.
an item,
So good.
simply place it in the tab and select a currency and an amount.
20 divs for Animus? Sign me up.
Once listed, other players will be able to find the item by searching for it via the trade website or the new in-game market search. To purchase something for yourself,
So
it's
good.
as easy as hitting this button, which will teleport you to the seller's hideout, where you can view their merchants tabs, buy the item, and also view the rest of their wares in case something else catches your eye. Every purchase costs a small fee of gold, as Faustus takes his cut. To account for this further drain on gold, acquisition and cost balance elsewhere in the game has been adjusted.
This just makes
Anything you've
trading
managed to
so
sell
good.
successfully will have
Like-
your profits collected here, in a separate tab to claim at your leisure. To be clear,
This is
previous
such
means
a
of trading,
massive change.
such as via pre-existing premium stash tabs and the website, will still function just as before. Merchants tabs, and the asynchronous trading that comes with them, are an entirely additive feature on top of the already existing methods to trade.
Yeah. So we're still gonna have the other trading
You
sources.
might find yourself needing the trade
PFP is
system
still
to
gonna
buy
be
some
there, probably.
upgrades, because this update
we
also
go.
introduces 3 new Uber Pinnacle
New
boss
Uber
fights.
boss fights. Let's go.
These encounters are manifested from the memories of
Of
Zana,
course, it's gonna be
and
the
in her long torment,
T16.5s.
they have festered into something truly deadly.
Yeah. Yeah. Does this mean we're gonna get
These fights
16.5
offer an
maps?
imposing challenge, alongside powerful rewards. In
I
order
forgot
to
what
gain
the good
access,
items were.
similar to existing Uber Pinnacle fights, you'll need to discover fragments dropped by Tier 17 map bosses.
Wow.
Each attempt at the new Uber Pinnacle fights will require 5 of these. Let's dig into some
What's
of
it
the
called?
challenges you'll need to face in these
Lonely
new Uber
fragment?
versions.
Okay.
In the original incarnation of
This is
Neglect
big, by
Fight,
the way.
the statues can be used to block the laser beams to hide behind, giving you an opportunity to avoid being shocked, frozen, or killed. When you run near these statues, they activate and allow you to reposition them. While activated, they will not stop the lasers, meaning you want to position them well, then avoid them. However, in the Uber version of this fight, instead of being a safe haven, the statues will refract the laser beams, causing a ruckus of energy to cover the arena.
Mark loves using
Activating
that
them will prevent the refraction. So
Ruckus.
unlike the base fight, where you want to position them well and then avoid them, you'll be wanting to constantly keep these statues active. But then, you have to deal with their assaultive attacks.
word. Okay.
While fighting the incarnation of fear, these fiery orbs will slowly clutter up the arena, locking off portions of it until you bait the boss into detonating
I'm
them
not gonna
himself
lie.
with
When I
his
was playing
thrown
my
spear.
build, I never saw any mechanics. We just one shot
When
everything.
Uberified, these orbs are attached by a flaming leash to the boss, rotating around him constantly. More and more will spawn as the fight goes on, making it even more imperative that you clean them up by cleverly using the boss's abilities against him.
Interesting.
Normally in the incarnation of Dread Fight, during the bullet hell phase,
do remember
you have
this
to
phase,
acquire
though.
a red rose, run it to the boss, then collect a blue rose, doing the same, causing it to get heavy stunned and interrupting its mechanic.
Heavy stun. Oh my god.
In the Uber version, you have to do the same. But in order to get the blue rose, you have to defeat the Incarnation of Neglect. And to get the red rose, you have to defeat the Incarnation of Fear. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck indeed.
Given the difficulty of these bosses, their reward should be worth your while.
We'll
Let's take a
one-shot
look
all
at
these
some.
guys. Come on.
From the Uber Incarnation of Neglect fight,
is it?
we have Bitter Instinct, a spiky shield that turns
Retaliation.
retaliatory strikes into preemptive ones, making it just a matter of
Wait.
time before the long arm of justice crushes your foes.
This is interesting.
Alternatively, you might find Festering Resentment, a poisoned blade with an unending supply of toxins built into the hilt. These toxins are put to good use, causing every spell you trigger to
This
be
could be good
capable
with
of
the new
poisoning
assi-
with all
assassin
damage it deals,
changes.
enabling a truly crazy trigger-centric poison ruckus.
I told you he loves
And from
using
the Uber
ruckus.
Incarnation of Dread, the Hallowed Monarch, a counterpart to the Dark Monarch, which focuses more heavily on investing into one or a few minions, rather than growing your hordes to massive proportions. Storm Rayclast, with your chosen few at your side, stealing power from your enemies as you go.
Okay.
We've got a number of quality of life changes to bring to 327 as well. Many of which you may have seen already in some of our pre-livestream
Yeah, let's look at
teasers,
some quality
but
of
for
life.
those who haven't, Heist is a mechanic which has long frustrated some players who may otherwise have been interested in the rewards it has to offer, but have no desire to grind through the early progress of finding and running low-level contracts to get all of the rogues to their maximum level.
We saw some of
Well,
these changes.
starting in 327,
This is really nice.
Heist rogues will automatically begin at maximum level, so you can start your dubious criminal career without all the busy work. Points invested into your Atlas passive tree will now be refundable with gold. Just speak to Kerak to do so. For players who love jumping between strategies, there's also an option to instantly refund your entire tree, which of course can now
So
also be
good.
done with your regular passive tree as well. Now you can make all your decisions with no regrets. Well, maybe some regrets.
I see what you,
You
did
no
there.
longer need to purchase bestiary orbs.
I wonder if
you can now
Orb of
itemize
Regrets is still
beasts
gonna be
for
there.
free directly from your bestiary.
Oh, this is such a good change.
From late Act 1, you can now mass identify your items at an NPC in every town, and from Helena in your hideout. This does not require Scrolls of Wisdom at all.
This is
While using an alteration
kind of
orb,
insane.
you can now hold Alt to swap to using an augmentation orb, if one is available.
Wow.
Opening a blight chest will now open all other blight chests near it.
Oh, this is so good. We're gonna definitely be doing
Rob's
Blight
disenchanting
early game.
services can now be accessed from towns and hideouts. Kerak missions now have a handy icon to show at a glance what kind of mission they are.
Oh,
Holding down Control and right-clicking on stacked decks will now continuously
know how
open
to
them
make
to your
good
inventory,
updates.
notifying
Like,
you in chat what
without
the outcome
fail.
is. If you still want to open them direct to the ground, to let your loot filter provide a dose of dopamine, you can still do that too by also holding Shift. Val orbs
Such a
can be
good
used
change.
on monsters encased in essences, to the same
Oh
effect that
my
Remnants of
God.
Corruption have.
they did it. It's so unreal, man.
When multiple skill gems are ready to level at the same time, you'll now
One
be able to
click.
click this button to level them all up at once.
I can't handle it.
Next up, we're going to be talking about our new
I can't
League
handle
supporter
it.
packs.
It's just too good.
Today,
good.
we're launching two new series of supporter packs, the Champion of Theopolis and the Verdant Magus packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in
Alright,
points,
let's look at
alongside
this.
several exclusive microtransactions.
Honestly,
As
a pretty
always,
quick
the
update.
microtransactions in
Like
these
30
packs
minutes.
are purely
Wow.
cosmetic and do
What
not
if
affect
there's-
your character's power or progression in any way. The Champion of Theopolis series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. Manifest a Champion's Ferocity, as the Lion's Might unique finisher effect rips your enemies to shreds.
Okay.
Open the Champion of Theopolis portal to end your crusade through maps in the style expected of a true victor of the arena. Defeat your enemies like a true gladiator, wearing the Grand Champion of Theopolis armor set. The armor awarded only to the most elite warriors of the Grand Arena.
Or with $60.
Take charge of the situation and storm into combat with the Flaming Minotaur's Quicksilver Flask effect.
That's pretty cool.
The
I'm not
champion's
gonna
podium map device rises up to honor the glory you've achieved as you activate it. Ascend
like
the
this.
stairs and stand atop the platform as you enter your maps.
lie. I really
Each
like
flame
this one.
surrounding the platform represents a remaining use on your portal. The burden-back belly goat carries all the supplies necessary for a campsite as he travels behind you in battle.
Okay.
When placed in a hideout, instead of roaming around like your other pets, their supplies are deployed, creating a small camp where you can access your stash and providing a place to take a load off while you rest next to the campfire. The Verdant Magus series contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
This reminds me of Guild Wars 2. with
Having Faustus
Slavari.
sell your items on your behalf is great and all, but sometimes you just want to feel a little bit more shady about your dealings. The Back Alley Trader hideout decoration is more secretive with your trades, creating distance between you and your customers. Note that until 327 is released, this Back Alley Trader will only serve as your currency exchange. Once it's out, it will be updated to have the new Managed Shop option to also facilitate your trades. The Verdant
That's
Wayfinder
pretty
pet
insane.
is a loyal companion to any Master Magus.
Yes, it reminds me of the Slavari.
As you
from
approach
Guild Wars
waypoints,
2.
it envelops them with its vines, guiding you throughout Rayclast. Control Earth and nature itself, as the Great Verdant Magus armor set envelops you in the ancient power now lost to time. There's also a matching back attachment included. Remnants of the forest ripple out from within you with the Verdant Magus level up effect equipped, restoring life to the corrupted land.
Kind of
Call on an ancient golem to use their power to create a safe
Wow.
passage for you to retreat through with the Arcane Golem portal. As a Supreme Verdant
Whoa.
Magus, you can travel to your Arcane Isle hideout.
Whoa.
A
This
cluster of
hideout
islands
is
held together by
insane.
ancient magic passed down between elite mages.
Oh my god.
Stand atop your tower and relish the great heights you've reached above those who have not harnessed the arcane.
Oh my god, this hideout is insane.
These packs are now available for purchase on both
What?
PC and console and will remain so during Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame. Additionally, any microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Meanwhile, the Crypt Keeper and Frisian Magistrate packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Keepers of the Flame League.
Forever.
So now's your last chance to purchase them. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame
Okay.
at 11 AM New Zealand time, 3 PM Pacific. With
3 p.m.
release at the end of
Pacific.
next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release.
Wait,
Keep
3
an eye on
p.m.
the news.
Pacific is what?
Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments.
Isn't that
We're
in
looking forward to
2.5
holding off the Breach
hours?
Lord's conquest, crafting gruesome grafts, planning dozens of bloodline-empowered builds, and filling out our trees tree.
Oh, I was really
We hope you
hoping
all
we
join
would get
us.
the patch notes like immediately. Let me look at what people in Twitch chat are saying. Just log in. Wow, so there's some like insane changes. Oh,
G'day Exiles and welcome to the post-reveal
talk about some of them,
discussion
but
and Q&A with Jonathan and Mark, lead guys who make games, I believe was what we discussed as the
Official-
titles.
yeah,
That's the
official title. Yeah.
Excellent. I like it, it's good. We're talking about how to inflate their titles in the lead up to this. 327 Keepers of the Flame, the reveal we just had there was, I think, quite a banger, but I've been even more impressed with what I've been playing here in the office.
but it is
with,
quite a banger.
some of that, so we'll get into that in a moment. But I'm curious, this is kind of like a special kind of reveal day for PoE 1 fans, as I think it marks a return to schedule for us. You announced this plan to do the 4-month cycle for the games, two twos, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly hard. I'll tell you that, right? Like it can be pretty brutal on some of the stuff when it's like every 2 months you got a deadline.
That would be insane. They said they couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have to do it, right? Like, I mean, that was always the intention to get the regular schedule. It's super important, so we have to make it happen. We have to make sure that is something that we can do going forward.
Insane,
but yeah, I would like. I'm honestly, I'm so happy that we managed to to get everything back, and I think it helps a lot.
I think like things feel a lot less like crazy here this visit for me, like, and things seem a bit more of a finished state as well from what I've been looking at. So
well, we're putting a lot more effort into sort of getting that production process down, making sure that everything's going well. Like we're hiring producers at the moment, just by the way, in case anyone's out there looking as a for a production job. It's something that we're really concentrating on, making sure that because when you've got a schedule like this, when it's this tight, you have to be really, really careful because like I would say one of the hardest things that we didn't expect, trying to make sure that we get the schedule this short, is you start to become really vulnerable to just like random things, like this person gets sick or like something like that, and that's like suddenly it's like a real challenge. So that's been real hard to adapt to. But yeah, I mean honestly we have to do it.
Because PoE 2's 030 kind of we missed it by a week or two as well. Like, normally that's okay.
Everything
slip
in
a
this
week or
room
two, but
is
now all of a
PoE
sudden now you got a bit
except
2 week
for
more
this
overlap with 327, and it certainly has less room for error. But again, that's why more production staff should help, and we are just going to get better at it. But yes, we made it to 326 and now 327, mostly on schedule, give or take. One was you could argue one's an anomaly, 2 is a pattern, so hopefully it should continue as normal. But yeah, we'll get better at it 100%. So we'll work out the kinks. But it was always going to be some growing pains to going to 6 releases a year for across both Path of Exiles. So.
Yeah, I remember thinking when you guys were doing 4 releases a year that was crazy. So 6 is pretty wild, but it seems to be happening. So fingers crossed it keeps happening. Is the contingency just that like occasionally you just might delay by a few weeks here?
I don't want to. I really want to be real strict about it. Like,
we said we'd stick to the time and adapt the content around the time. Like consistency is key. So hopefully we can keep doing that. That's still our current philosophy and plan.
So turn this down a little bit. Turn myself up a little bit.
It kind of helps everyone get an idea of like scoping a lot better.
Yeah.
Now it's just like the interview part.
Everything, right? It helps with the players, just feeling the consistency. It helps with like developers. Like it's just overall like a way better state to be in.
So, Breach 2, aka Keepers of the Flame. It's the first real direct sequel league in PoE. Now, I know we're kind of sequeling with stuff in PoE 2. There's like definitely follow-ups there, but this is the actual first true sequel league, and it seems like people are pretty keen on the idea. I think the reception's been pretty good so far, first impressions. What are your guys' thoughts on doing a sequel? Were you like anti-sequel, pro-sequel? Because I know people kind of...
I would say personally that so whenever you do a sequel, you're entering a dangerous territory because people who didn't like the original could then now be like, oh, I'm disappointed because as soon as they hear that it's a sequel to something they didn't like, they're like, it's not happy. So you could just be ruling out a bunch of people in your audience right away. Now, Breaches, I would say, is a pretty popular one, so like there's less danger there. Yeah. But effectively, in order to make a sequel to something, I think you really have to be doing something that had to be a real banger back when you did it, so that people actually, are definitely on board from the beginning. In general, I'd say we'd prefer to do stuff that's like new, but I think this one was a good fit. It was a good
the real sequel.
Yeah, people are liking it, so
it's. I mean, as Jonathan said, yes.
Trying to see if they uploaded some more info.
Than others. Some have more kind of X factor out there gameplay, with the whole Blight Tower defense, and some of them are more maps and a bit more crazy. And immediately
here it is.
Do turn off some people, and we know that going in. When we make these, we try and make it, something good for everyone. But Breach had that just like you're just slaying hordes of monsters. You're just killing. It's the classic. We talk about reinventing the wheel here. We talk about not reinventing the killing monsters in circles, and it has that. And by the way, that is a massive thing when doing the sequel. Is we're like we must keep the killing monsters in circle, because the last thing I want to do is, and this is another risk of a sequel, is take something that people love and then just ruin it. We really focused on the weaknesses of what Breach had, because it was. 9 years ago, almost to date, I think it was. I think it was December 9 years ago. So it was there. Yeah, just if you want to feel a bit old for a moment there.
My back, ow.
you know, and I actually still remember working on it. It does not feel like it was that long ago. I made those the 5 breach lords back when, and put together all the monsters and all that interesting stuff back then. And I was like, what was I doing? Like we took the player characters, put some micros on them, and dunked them in red paint.
That was the style at the time.
You know, it was like so. It's not only been fun to come back and do a sequel, which by the
Okay. They're gonna yap around. Let's look at some of the things that I want to take a look at. It seems like we're not gonna get patch notes until much later, so I'm not gonna be able to know if the build is solid or not. What the changes are in the build, etc. But we'll kind of like keep up with that. Let's take a look at some of these things that we did see. These are some cool assets. I definitely like the purple theme. Okay, yeah, let's look at some of these graphs. So apparently these can be attached onto the character. So let's take a look. So minions have 7% increased attack and cast speed. Okay, uses level 30, the Great Avalanche. Okay, so what is this? When you use an offering skill, the graph will summon an army of Hiveborn Breach monsters to do your bidding. These summoned monsters have their physical damage converted to cold and have a chance to apply Brittle. Wow. Base duration 10 seconds, maximum 30 Hiveborn, summons 10. Okay. And on top of that, it says increased cold damage, 10% increased chance to find Ancient Womb Gift. Skills used by this graph have 16% increased cooldown recovery rate. Skills used by this graph. Okay. 14% increase in armor, uses 30 Heart of Flame. Okay, let's take a look. When you are missing life, the graph will apply a buff that takes some damage from hits for you before being depleted. This is really nice. When you are struck while the buff is active, the skill will fire a nova of fiery projectiles which explode on impact. Okay, nice. This is some insane damage numbers, by the way. 102,000. Like, what? Hello? It fires 5 projectiles. 80% of damage from hits is taken from the buff before your life or energy shield. The buff can take up to 4,584 damage. I think that's good. Skills used by the graph have 95% chance to ignite. So this is going to give us like almost guaranteed ignite. Increased crit chance and crit damage. Okay. So I think when it comes to the build itself, I think this would be... We would have to see like what are some of the graphs. And yeah, like we just have to know what we can use. Some of these are okay. Like this could be really good. This gives us some defensive abilities because our glass cannon version of the build, it's gonna take some time. Or it's gonna take some hits during bossing, which you might want to like mitigate because our damage is gonna be fine. Pretty much what we're looking for in these graphs when it comes to the Ice Spear totem build that I like to run is primarily utility and defense. That's the main thing we're lacking. I guess when it comes to our tanky setup, that's where we can be more concerned with getting more damage out of these. But primarily utility is what we want over like damage. Okay, so we found out about the tree. It can grow a bunch of different things. So we have implants, corrupts a craft, either destroying it entirely or replacing the implicit with a powerful modifier. Okay, so I guess this is going to be used to craft these graphs. That's like a tongue twister. Craft these graphs. Upgrades a magic item to a rare item with higher level modifiers being more likely. Okay. Passives granting fire resistance or all elemental resistance in radius also grant increased maximum life at 100% of its value. Passives granting fire resistance. What did it do before? I know it did something else before. But this is kind of insane. Like, let me just open it up on the side real quick. Oh, so it took the same thing. Oh, it just wait, just straight up. This is just a straight up buff. What the hell? Right? This is just a straight up buff. Damage cannot be reflected. Okay. This whole system is insane. This is like they literally just like it's crazy that like the thing that I am missing from PoE, like there's not right. Like PoE has like pretty much everything I like in a game when it comes to ARPG. And some of the things it's missing is primarily in like last epoch, I would say. And the biggest thing that I wanted PoE to have is this being able to put a modifier on a unique item. This is so crazy. Like, could you imagine what you could put on like a mage blood or something like that? Like, oh my god, dude, I don't even know. And I think this is gonna be really, really good for our build in particular because we use Soul Mantle, and Soul Mantle is a very common unique, right? And it's the core of our build. Imagine if we could get something insane on Soul Mantle. This is gonna be something that I'm looking forward to. And it's being used on unique jewels. Like there's so much possibilities we can do here and I'm for it. I'm all for it. Pretty nice graphic. I like this. I like this. I really like this. New skills. So we get a couple skills. I'm curious about this wind burst. Was this the one that puts a wall? Oh, it's unfortunately an attack skill. Okay, okay. Yeah, let's look at these bloodline ascendancy. So what was the ring slot? Can't use amulets. Unaffected by curses. This could be really, really good early game. Like this could be really, really good for our build early game because we need to figure out how to deal with curses, especially when we get our soul mantle. So it could be really good because early on we don't care too much about our amulets, right? We don't care too much about the amulets, but it's still an important piece. But getting another ring, like what would that do if we could get another ring? If we could get another ring, I would have to think about this. But I think this one is really good. And affected by curses is such a big, big thing. Can't use amulets. I mean, there's a bunch of different things you could do. Like you could get the corrupted mod to be unaffected by poison. You could get unaffected by bleeding, right? And you could put that on a ring slot. Flasks are disabled. This one is by far the worst one because the best item in the game is Mage Blood, and it relies on flasks. So most of the time, you would not want to be doing this. Can't use belts. Yeah, like again, these two are just really, really bad because they they directly affect the Mage Blood. And this one specifically affects like Headhunter. In our build in particular, it affects Coward's Legacy. I guess this could be really good for certain builds. Let's see, what else do we have? Shabby. Oh yeah, this was Unleash. This was Elusive. Rage. Yeah, it doesn't really suit us. Reduce soul gain prevention. Okay. Vol skills deal 1% more damage. Okay. This could be something that's really good that we could use. Vol skills have 50% increased skill effect duration. That's the one we care about. Area of effect is whatever. And then 50% increase effect of auras from your Vol skills. I mean, that is massive. Like Vol haste, right? Like Vol haste could you just turbo everywhere. There's like others too, right? Like Vol haste. I mean, Vol righteous fire. What else? I can't think of stuff right now, but I mean, there's like Vol like discipline and things like that, but I mean, this is cool. Oh, I don't think they showed us this. So try res, 8% increase attack and cast speed. Okay, 10% increase effect of okay. Hits with prismatic skills always sap. I forgot what sap does. I forgot what sap does, but that's pretty cool. Got some quality of life. Complete the challenges, supporter packs. Really nice. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not gonna get patch notes for another like 2 hours, and I'm not gonna sit here for 2 hours. Let's see what's going on with the live stream.
Historically been playing. You activate a thing, the breach expand out. So these are breaches that haven't been stabilized yet.
Yeah.
So they haven't come through to build their hive. So you activate it, it starts expanding, you kill the monsters, it's revealing, and then once you've killed enough, and if you can kill enough, like it can be kind of hard early game, but like towards end game, that's your goal. You'll notice a progress bar filling up, and once the breach gets to the end, that means that it will become stable. And so what was going to happen is when it becomes stable, the breach are going to send through their like difficult monsters, their elites, their enforcers, their front line to come through and secure the area so they can send through their like little worker spiders to start building their hives. So this is like a yet to be a hive, and so you obviously don't witness all of that. Generally, what you do experience is you kill enough monsters. And then in the center, the portal activates and a bunch of monsters and often a boss floods through. And so now you have to go back to the center and fight all that, kill everything, defeat the boss, get the loot, and then everything drops then and there once you successfully do that. If you can't do it, run away. That's up to you. You can still play it the old way if you want and like not get so much rewards, just kill as many as you want and move on. But generally speaking, you'll want to go back to the middle. You want to kill the either waves of hordes of monsters coming through the portal or the boss that spawns.
That like locks open then once you reach that stabilization point.
Yeah, it locks open the time. Yeah, so that's another good thing. Yeah, so the existing breach. I mean, obviously, it's pretty outdated and even imbalanced, and often people were killing the breach lords, that the wild ones, in like a matter of seconds. But I wanted to make sure that boss fight didn't have a time condition. So yeah, once it stabilizes, that's it. You just once you kill them, it closes. You have infinite time to kill that boss and fight those monsters. You're not just like, oh my god, I got to do it. So like it is a more substantial, and generally because you've cleared everything in that circle now, it's like it almost like you created your own arena. You've got like a nice clear area where you can fight that boss and focus on killing that boss.
Yeah, I think that's I'm just gonna end the stream right here pretty much. We don't have any patch notes. We need another, I don't know, another 2 hours to get the patch notes. So I'm not gonna sit here, listen to this, and I don't know, like react to this, because it's just like Q&A. Like I'm definitely gonna watch it, right? I'm gonna watch it on my own time. But it's not really good content while I'm streaming. I thought they were gonna release the patch notes like immediately, but that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. I did talk about a couple of the items. What I could do briefly is we could check out the content reveal. Is it still unlisted? Okay, they listed it. Nice. Let's take a look at some of this. I wanted to pause a couple things and we'll call it after that.
By following the instructions below.
And by his gifts.
I mean, that was hype.
New layers to discover. Richer lore. Find it infested with breach monsters that are working to... The exit to the mudflats has been barricaded by Hiveborn. Breach monsters that are working to claim every inch of Rayclast.
Okay, so here we get the... We saw a little of a teaser for this somewhere. I don't know, was it like a leak or something? But this is where we're going to put the graph, which is nice. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put that in the, what's it called, in the for my timestamp. Okay, this is where we put the graph.
And move onwards. Once you enter the mudflats, you'll find it infested with breach monsters. These stabilized breaches are similar to what a breach once was, but with upgraded monsters, who will not be happy you're intruding on their planned conquest.
This is like a very interesting boss fight. Okay, so here, right, this whole skill tree, this looks exactly like last epoch. Yeah, this looks exactly like last epoch. And I'm very curious to see what this is gonna bring. Yeah, like on the top right, they showed like some of the unique stuff. We see Wine of the Prophet here, I think. That's Wine of the Prophet, right? Actually, no, it doesn't have the card. I don't know. Is that sorrow flask or something like that? I can't remember. But this tree is very interesting. Now, I don't know exactly what these mods are gonna be and what they do. So here, when I saw this, or just what I saw in the content reveal on the website, this one says it damage penetrates cold resistance. The other one had skills affected by the graft. So if this is just flat penetration, if there are other mods that are like this, if we get both of these on one graft, that could be very, very strong for our build, right? Like damage penetration's always good in a lot of places.
Bring everything from damage to potent to ricocheting
So yeah, dance in the white.
projectiles when you critically strike with skills. Try out.
So this could be interesting. When commanded, the Graft will call forth a devastating tornado which rapidly deals cold damage to enemies within when you critically strike with an attack. So, unfortunately, it's not going to work for our build because it is an attack and ours is a spell. It'll shoot off all this stuff, so it's not going to work for our build, but
Find the new radiant ground.
okay, so another one was this when commanded. I need to understand what this means as well. Like, what is commanded? Not sure. Will be cool to find out. This graph will call down a ring of lightning bolts, dealing lightning damage and leaving behind radiant ground. Okay. Radiant ground grants you and ally 6 to 87 additional lightning damage, causes hit damage to be lucky. This is pretty insane now that I think about it. Like, if you have a lightning build, this is pretty insane. So you could get this every 15 seconds. Yeah, I mean, you would primarily want this for bossing. It's pretty insane. Like lightning arrow or whatever.
Radiant ground grants a which
Burning burning message. Yeah, I read that correctly. I was like, what is this name? When commanded, this graph will cause a cataclysmic eruption that leaves multiple geysers of flame. So this is something we saw in PoE 2, where geysers erupt, and when you use a war cry, they fire even more. So this is kind of like a combo skill that they're adding to PoE 2. Or PoE 1, sorry.
the chance to birth additional grafts. These
So then these are gonna be like the four things, I guess, or four breach lords makes sense. I was gonna say four of the archetypes of this league, but then it's breach, so it's gonna be four of the breach lords. So like Ul, Natal, like Esh, Zoth, and
passives can target
Tool.
specific
Yeah.
types of grafts. And this passive
Unfortunately, I know them.
can be stored by your basic passives can
So additional currency. This is interesting. This could be a lot of different things. This could be a lot of different things. I don't know the direction we want to go. Currency is always like a default one that people go to. So this could be good. This could be good.
more power of currency to burst forth from the flesh of the tree. Yeah, it's a bit.
It just consumes it. So I guess I don't know how you get these drops, but I guess you take these drops, you put them here, and this is affected by these modifiers and then consume. And when you consume, you have some amount that you can gather, and then you can like consume to develop this. Very interesting.
But going to be so unmodifiable by
And then yeah, you get some graft currency that you can use, which is also very interesting.
most currencies.
That you can use to craft on these. Oh yeah, here's the two you can use. I'm assuming two's it. Like they might have said if you could use 3 or 4.
However, currency orb, exalted orbs. Allocating this passive can result in foul-born currency.
Yeah, so this is the currency, the foul-born currency.
This foul-born exalted orb for it.
Let me just see what the difference was. So these are implants, and then this is foul-born currency. And it seems like the foul-born seems like yeah seems like the foul-born currency is like a better version of the normal currencies that we have. So this seems pretty interesting. So it says augments a rare item with a new random modifier with higher level modifiers being more likely. This is like perfect exalt and things like that from PoE 2 they are bringing into PoE 1.
Reduced chance for cold modifiers.
Okay, so this left side, this whole left side, this particular tree looks like it was for SSF crafting, or I guess, you could also probably do some profit crafting. Yeah, it just, there's a lot of modifiers to kind of like target craft specific things. So like I think the example they showed were like boots, but this was like weapons and stuff. So this looks like these icons. Yeah, these icons look like armor and weapon. So I think that's what it's used for. I can't tell what these icons are. These might be. Oh, this is all uniques. I forgot. But this could be a good way to craft certain boots, certain weapons early on. It could be good for leveling for campaign. I'm like trying to think. Um like yeah, you could get like some really good wands. If you get like really good wands, um yeah, like if there's like a way to like target craft like really good wands, it's gonna make our campaign like a lot easier.
Or maybe
But we need like way more information. So like right here, this one is increased two-handed melee weapon chance. So this is 5,000 increased chance for birthed equipment to be two-handed melee weapons. Pretty insane. And I'm assuming the other ones are like, I'm assuming, I actually don't know because there's only 3 other categories. So this one is saying two-handed melee weapons. I would assume the other one has to be two-handed. Oh, okay. I think this is two-handed like magic weapons, and I think it's two-handed range weapons. I think that's what it is. So like staves and bows. But what about wands? Maybe somewhere over here, somewhere over here. This could be it. Like this could be like one-handed weapons because I think this was armor they showed.
prefer to look for a two. It's one of the
So now, I mean, this is the main tree, right? This is the tree that we want to look at because this is a unique tree. Let me go back to when they first start talking about this.
section of the tree is for growing unique items. Similar to the equipment section, there are passives that
300% increased chance for birthed unique items to have intelligence requirements. So this is going to be a way to target farm specific unique items. So this in particular is what we would want because like let's say we want soul mantle, and I'm assuming yeah, soul mantle, well like I'm assuming you could get any unique items, and this is like one, I guess this is one thing that we would want. We would have to see more of the tree to see how we can target farm soul mantle because that'll be our first priority into like deep end game when we're trying to make our
let you
build.
target growing specific types of uniques.
And then here we go. Perfect. Yeah. So this is intelligence. This is like a prime example of how we would want to birth soul mantle. Because honestly, even without going like end game to get like the perfect one, this could be a really good way to just get like a normal one.
Or rarer uniques.
I mean, that's kind of insane.
The process of growth growth is not always a perfect one, however, and can result in some defects. This passive can result in birth uniques becoming foulborn, which mutates one of the existing modifiers on the item into a new one, resulting in some interesting new ways to use that unique.
Wait, can I go back?
The process
Oh, these are rolled an additional times. That means the stats are gonna be better. But yeah, we want to look at this mutated
one of the existing modifiers on the item into a new one, resulting in some interesting new ways to use that unique. For example, this foulborn quill rain no longer has increased projectile speed, but instead
So this thing got rid of projectile speed for this, which is actually a pretty good stat, right? Like we don't really care about projectile speed, but area of effect is insane because this bow in particular is used for toxic rain, and having overlap is one of the main concerns. And I mean, this thing is crazy. I mean, you don't really need projectile speed. Attack speed is what you need. Attack speed allows you to fire really fast. Projectile speed just determine how fast it's gonna land. So this is an insane modifier. Like I'm trying to think. Well, actually, let me look up Soul Mantle real quick. So Soul Mantle actually has a downside, right? And this downside is very, very critical for us to actually deal with, right? And it's a big downside. Let me just actually pull it up just so I can show you guys. Okay, is this gonna show up? Let me see if it shows up on stream. Okay, yeah, it shows up on screen. So, yeah, like as you can see, the biggest downside of Soul Mantle is inflicts a random hex on you when your totems die. Now, based on what we just saw here, it says that 50% chance for Ancient Wound gives to birth an additional item. And then it says birthed uniques have a 50% chance to be foulborn. And then here, as an example, they showed that the Quill Rain lost the projectile speed and then gained. Wait, sorry, this is a different example.
one of the existing modifiers on the item into, for example.
So here, so it lost the projectile speed and then gained area of effect. This becomes really good for Toxic Rain. For our case, in our build with totems, we would want this modifier to disappear. And it's okay if we, let's say we lose like totem life, right? Totem life is fine too. The others we want to keep, right? Like obviously, we don't want to lose this because that's the main point of using this item. But if we can re-roll this into a positive, this opens up our build like insane, insane. We don't have to do a lot of different things that make our build like annoying to use. So
this foulborn Quill Rain no longer has increased projectile speed, but instead has increased area of effect.
Yep.
Modifier where insufficient mana doesn't prevent your bow attack.
This is pretty insane too. Again, it could be really good for Toxic Rain because I know Toxic Rain has issues with mana. Yeah, like look at this, right? Like I mean, we saw a bunch of different examples, but here I don't know exactly how these mods are going to be replaced, but this Wayne this gold rim helmet usually has like I don't know, like 30 to 40% all res, and it just changed to chaos res. But if it hits like something else, like reflects 4 physical damage to something else, this item becomes so much better. Oh my god, dude, this league's gonna be so fun because all the uniques are gonna be like better. Like literally every single unique is gonna be better because most of these uniques have like at least one downside. And if you can recover the downside, it's gonna be like so much better game. Like this amulet just gives you elemental overload. Like this is insane. Like it's just straight up insane. Birthed Foulborn uniques have a 20% chance of multiple Foulborn modifiers. Like this is just crazy, right? Like if we could have more than one, like if we could get 2 additional modifiers on our unique gear, it's gonna be crazy. Let me see if I can find my profile. PoE Ninja. What did I name my character? I forgot what I named my character. Oh, actually, I have a PoE, um, I have a POB, sorry, Path of Building, and let me just pop that. Oh, here it's window capture. Okay, here's the POB. Um, yeah, here's the POB. So in the POB, we have a bunch of different unique items, right? So, oh, I guess we don't have loadout in here, but under the notes section in my guide, we have a ton of different unique items, right? Like we have like Heat Shiver, Coward's Legacy, Reign of Splinter, Die. Wait, I think is Reign of Splinters corrupted? I don't know if we'll be able to get this, but I think Heat Shiver for sure. Coward's Legacy probably. I don't know if it works on Flash. That could be kind of crazy. Sublime Vision. I mean, this would be insanely hard to find, but you know, it's doable. Same thing with Watcher's Eye. I don't know if it works on Watcher's Eye, but like for early game, like Soul Mantle for sure, and then Kikuzaru. So Kikuzaru is actually used to counteract Soul Mantle. So if we get a really good Soul Mantle, we wouldn't even need Kikuzaru. We could just go to Anathemas. Anathema's going to be like best in slot for a very long time. Well, actually, Anathemas is always going to be best in slot. Like Anathemas is just, yeah, it's just good. Self-flagellation. I know this is corrupted. I know for a fact this is corrupted. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. And then Dying Light, or sorry, Annihilating Light is going to be our staff. So we'll have to see how that's going to work. Let's see if there's anything more. Because, yeah, multiple modifiers. That's insane.
I'm sure it's up to you to discover what this mysterious part of the Genesis tree can grow. So,
and then there's another tree that we don't know.
This tree, growing some items and better grafts, and back again to the slaughter.
Support skills,
The form of new ascendancy class options.
So we already went over this async trade, Uber boss fights. Uber boss fights, you know, like, of course we're gonna do them. Some quality. Oh yeah, let's look at some of these quality of life changes.
27s who may otherwise have been interested in the rewards it has to low-level contracts. 327.
So highs, you know, we get all the all these guys are now gonna be max level, so we don't have to level them up.
Highest correct Atlas passive tree will now be
Okay, now you could refund the whole tree at once, and you can use gold to respec.
for your entire
Very, very nice change, actually.
which of course can now also
Fossis has the async shop and currency exchange.
well cherry orbs. You can now
This is really nice for Einhard, all the Einhard beasts. You don't have to go to him, pay him 1 chaos to like get one of these. You could just do this for free now. Super, super good.
base Act 1, you can now mass identify
Mass identification is a really, 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 really good. Especially with async trade, you have more incentive to identify things. And if you don't need them, if you don't want them, you could just toss them in the async shop and someone will buy it.
your items and does not require scroll. Now hold Alt to swap to you.
This is also good for alt spamming, right? No pun intended here. Basically, you can use alteration orbs and just spam everything. And if you press the alt button, it will allow you to use a orb of augmentation. That's kind of insane. So now you could just hold on alterations, alt spam, and if it has an opening, you could just augment. Really, really good change. I really like this. I don't alt spam too much, maybe like for Flask, but I know a lot of people like to do it with cluster jewels and whatnot.
Using an augmentation orb. Open all other blight chests near it.
This is really good. So we used to take a actual passive point to do this early game. So it was like a little min-max thing, but early game, I like to do Blight because it's the easiest way to make money. And for new players, it's very, very easy to do. And one of the biggest downsides with Blight is like opening all the chests. And I used to take a passive point, which was like 25% chance when you cast a spell, chest open. So it wasn't even like that good. But I would use it to open chests, and now you could just one click open every chest in the area. It's so good.
Rog's disenchanting services can now be
Disenchant, so like Settlers is core, so you know you can disenchant. I don't interact with Settlers too much. I know you can still do like a 50 mil shipment and it's still good, so I should consider it, but most of the time I use gold to like flip on the auction house.
access handy icon to show at a glance.
This is a big, big, massive change. So now instead of clicking on each of these maps to tell you what kind of objective they are, now you could take a glance at the icons and see what the
What kind of
objectives are.
missions? Now continuously open them to your
You could spam click open and they will go into your inventory instead of picking one and then moving it manually. What people used to do is click open and then drop. And then they also added another feature where you could just drop straight to the ground if that's what you like to see.
inventory, notifying you in chat what the outcome is. If you still want to open them direct to the ground, to let your
Like that, basically.
Vile orbs can be used on monsters encased in essences to the same.
It's like, this is such a good change. I need to screenshot this and send this to my friend because so good. So no more remnants of corruption. They were pointless. They were useless. This is gonna make essence farming really good.
Same effect that
We might try some, do some.
when multiple skill gems are ready to level at the same time.
This is also nice. You can take this too. One click level up is insane.
You'll now be able to click this button to going to be talking about our new league.
Okay, and then supporter packs. So I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna check one more time to see if we have patch notes. Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, so patch notes is gonna come in like an hour and a half. I'm not gonna wait for it, but under this live stream, I might just say if we are good for the patch or whatnot. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. All right. Thanks for watching for this short stream. I might stream a little bit later for some OSRS content. And that's it. Peace.